The nation watched in disbelief as angry protesters breached the Capitol building Wednesday, breaking windows, busting through barriers, some even scaling walls and chanting. A chaotic scene of Trump supporters storming both the Senate and House chambers, aiming to thwart Congress's impending certification of Joe Biden as the winner of the 2020 presidential election.
Get down under your chairs if necessary.
Lawmakers inside crouched under desks, donned gas masks, or fled as the mayhem spread through the building, including the office of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. At one point, a standoff against protesters inside chamber doors led to the fatal shooting of 35-year-old Ashley Babbitt. Viral video footage captures the sound of the gunshot and shows Babbitt crumpling to the floor from multiple angles. She was one of 4 people who died during the riots. The others suffered deaths from medical emergencies. As the tension mounted, President Trump posted a video urging his supporters to go home.
I know your pain, I know you're hurt, but you have to go home now.
His social media accounts were temporarily suspended as egging on the violence.
Here it comes. What? Oh, we gotta get back.
And it would take hours for authorities to restore order. 68 people were arrested, 56 officers were injured, and authorities recovered 6 firearms and 2 pipe bombs.
Are you proud of what happened here today?
I'm absolutely stand behind 100% what happened here today. 1,000%. I think it's terrible how this election was stolen. And I had to come here and do my patriotic duty.
We will not be kept out of this chamber by thugs, mobs, or threats.
Congress was able to resume proceedings late Wednesday, but amid the lingering damage and vandalized walls, a search for answers.
Ultimately, the chief and the 2 Senate Sergeant of Arms do have a lot to answer for. They're good people. This went bad, and it shouldn't have happened.
As you can imagine, D.C. still on edge this evening. The National Guard deployed with riot gear and with equipment, protective gear, working 31 checkpoints across the city and around the Capitol, especially for control of traffic. The United States Secretary of the Army told the press today that there are sources from multiple states coming in to really fortify the Capitol. Let's listen.
At present, the entire D.C. National Guard has been mobilized. We have also received the support from the state of Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and New York. There will be 6,200 guardsmen in total by the weekend here at the U.S. and the U.S. National Capital Region in support of the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department as well as the Capitol Hill Police.
The Guard is working all day today, Vinny, to fortify, really to make the Capitol grounds a fortress. A 7-foot fence has been erected around the United States Capitol. It will stay up to protect the property for 30 days. There it is right there, National Guard members, over 850 of them working on that today. And it'll help support security in the area in the coming weeks and days there to prevent something from what happened yesterday from happening again.
You know, the mayor of D.C. also spoke out, held a press conference. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
I also call on the Joint Terrorism Task Force to investigate, arrest, and prosecute any individual who entered the Capitol, destroyed property, or incited acts of domestic terrorism.
Chandler, what do we know about any status of any investigations taking place?
Well, we know that those who have been arrested actually made their first appearances in court today in Washington, D.C. In fact, the prosecutor asking the judge to block them from the city because a lot of them are non-residents of Washington, D.C. They've been arrested for many different things, Vinny: defacing property, burglary, receiving stolen property, riot act is a felony there, simple assault, and resisting arrest. The D.C. police, they're still actively investigating and searching for those involved. They even put up a special website where they have have photos of people of interest that you can go to, you can scroll through. They're asking for the public's help in identifying a lot of these people that were involved in the riots yesterday, even offering up to $1,000 reward for help. As you can imagine, federal agencies are also involved. The FBI director, Christopher Wray, he issued a statement this morning. He said the violence and destruction of property at the U.S. Capitol building yesterday showed a blatant and appalling disregard for our institutions. We do not tolerate violent agitators and extremists who use the guise of the First Amendment protected activity to incite violence and wreak havoc. He says, make no mistake, we will hold accountable those who participated in yesterday's siege of the Capitol. In fact, the FBI has deployed its full investigative resources, partnering with all kinds of agencies. Federal prosecutors today filed 15 criminal cases related to the unrest yesterday, and they say that it involved unauthorized entry into the Capitol grounds, that there was a lot of pilfering done by the demonstrators, so there's lots of theft charges, as well as firearm charges being in. Of course, this is all still ongoing and investigating.
All right, let's focus in now on the shooting that was captured on video. We saw it in your piece. What else are we learning about the woman who was shot, Ashley Babbitt?
Yeah, she was a 35-year-old. She was married from San Diego. She's a 14-year veteran of the Air Force, of course, an avid supporter of President Trump and his efforts to stay in office. Her Twitter account, Vinny, shows that under her name, she's a veteran, a libertarian, a supporter of the Second Amendment. In fact, one of her friends spoke to KGTV to tell people more about who she was. Let's listen.
Well, I'll start off with how I knew her. I met Ashley in the end of 2011. We served in the same unit in the Air Force, and we deployed together in 2012. I served with her up until I got out at the beginning of 2015. She was the coolest person I probably met in the Air Force. Probably one of the coolest people I've ever met in my whole life. She was a really chill person. You could get, like, it didn't matter what you believed. It didn't matter, your background, where you came from. She would talk to you. She'd have a conversation with you. If you wanted to debate her, you could debate her. But at the end of it, she held no qualms with you. She'd crack open some beers and she'd be like, hey, let's drink and have a good time. Like, she didn't hate you for, I don't think she hated a soul.
We learned that through eyewitness accounts and other reporting that the U.S. Capitol Police, they were trying to barricade the House door chambers when she climbed through. That's when the shot was happening. This is all still under investigation. The U.S. Capitol Police officer who fired at Babbitt is on administrative leave at this time while the investigation is ongoing. It's being investigated by Metropolitan Police as well as U.S. Capitol Police.
All right. Court TV legal correspondent Shanley Painter on top of all the latest tonight. Appreciate your reporting. Thank you so much.